All right, so once again, thank you and welcome to Introduction to Artfully for New Users. So my name is Marcus and I am on the support team for Artfully. If you give us a call or send us an email, I'm one of the people who's likely to be answering your questions. To give you some background, a few years ago, we had Fractured Atlas members come to us saying that they were looking for a ticketing software and customer relationship management solution because the ones on the market weren't fitting their needs. We work with artists in all disciplines across the country, and our members were asking us for a ticketing software that is easy to use, flexible, easy enough for volunteer staff members to pick it up, that integrates with our other services like fiscal sponsorship, and that was also affordable for small to mid-sized companies. And so in October of 2013, we launched Artfully with kind of three main pieces of functionality. We're going to cover basically everything that we have going on in Artfully right now. So the three main modules that Artfully began with are ticketing, donation processing, and people management through the CRM. We also have features that integrate us with MailChimp, and we're currently in the midst of beta testing a set of features for organizations to sell season passes and flex passes, as well as offer memberships to sell memberships to a constituency that is kind of like your super customers. And then on the horizon, we also have some functionality and development for both assigned seating and fundraising campaigns. So what we'll do is we'll start by focusing on how you can use Artfully to ticket events, both free and paid events. We'll have time for questions, and then we'll cover the other areas as well. So first and foremost, Artfully is a ticketing software. So anyone can create an event and sell tickets. The setup process is pretty quick. In order to sell paid tickets, we just need to get your EFT information on file. And one of the things that kind of sets us apart is we offer a number of ways for you to sell tickets. So we're going to cover the kind of myriad of ways you can ticket an event, and I'm happy to answer any clarifying questions once we get through ticketing. So the first way that you can sell tickets is through a storefront that gets automatically created when you set up an event within Artfully. We also have the option to sell tickets on your own website using a widget or a WordPress plugin. So if you're using WordPress, we have kind of an easy way for you to get the functionality up and running on your site. We also have the widget, which can be dropped into many other websites, but it does often require the help of a web developer. So those two cover advanced ticketing. And then we also have internal sales channels, because you're often going to have people showing up at the door or calling you up on the phone to purchase tickets. And for those, we have two internal sales channels called the box office and the sales console. And those are exclusive to your staff. So we'll start with the storefront. The storefront is automatically created when you set up an Artfully event. I would say it's how the majority of Artfully producers ticket their events. You fill out a form to set up the event. You tell us a little bit of what your event is about, where it's going to be held with the address, so we can put a Google Map link right on your storefront. Then you set your prices, put your dates on the calendar, and then we have a link that you can share via social media, email, wherever, and that's hosted right on Artfully. So that's kind of the easiest way to ticket an event. When your customers come to your storefront, your fans will see the list of dates. They select which ticket type they're interested in purchasing and proceed to checkout. And then it's just a short form, and people can check out and get on your door list so they can come to your events. Well, there's more in the storefront that I'll be covering in just a little bit, but I next want to cover the other option, which is the widget or plugin, which lets you sell tickets right on your website. So this is a bit of code that tries to work with the style of your website. And just like the storefront, you have your list of dates and show times, and the show dates expand to reveal what ticket types you have available for each show. And basically, just like in the storefront, your fans select how many tickets they would like to purchase. And here, a shopping cart pops up from the bottom of your screen, so people can check out right on your own website. So this is a little more of an advanced way to sell tickets, but it does give you the option of selling tickets directly on your site without having to link out to anything else. So both of those cover advanced ticket sales for the people who are buying beforehand, but when you have people who also want to purchase tickets at the door, we have a sales channel called the box office. So this is a private sales channel. It's just for your staff to work in, and we've designed it to be kind of the speedier way to sell tickets. So you use the plus and minus buttons at the top of the screen to select the number of tickets that you want to purchase. You can process sales as cash, credit card sales. You can record checks and also issue comp tickets for, say, industry and press. And it integrates with your door list. So I'll show you in a minute how you can flip back and forth to quickly sell tickets and check people in. This is designed for really selling tickets quickly at the door when time is of the absolute essence. And then kind of the final internal ticket sales channel is what we call the sales console. So here, this is more for building complex orders when you have somebody who wants to buy a ticket to your next event and also make a donation. It's also useful for our organizations who are in our beta test for both passes and membership sales. If you have further questions about the sales console when you're kind of up and running with Artfully, this is something we're really happy to talk to you about and help use to its fullest advantage. So those kind of cover the sales channels for how you can sell tickets within Artfully. Just as important is how you get people checked into your event. And so one of our main kind of features that we help you track is not only who is buying tickets to your event, but who is actually showing up. So we provided tools to help you get your folks checked in as quickly as possible. What we're looking at here is the door list. So whenever anybody buys a ticket to your event, they'll be added to your door list, and you'll notice that there are checkboxes on the left-hand side. You just click on the name of a person who has shown up, tick the checkboxes for the ticket orders, and in the upper left-hand corner, there's a progress bar that fills up as you have people arrive. This does require that your venue have internet access. Otherwise, there's an option to print your door list, and we also email your organization administrator, kind of the person who creates the account, a copy of the door list 90 minutes before showtime. And this is a feature that's integrated with the box office. So you'll notice at the top of the page here, there's kind of a rectangle around the door list. and on the right, there's a link to sell tickets. So the door list and the box office are two halves of the same interface. And you flip back and forth as you're checking in, or you have somebody who needs to purchase a ticket to help keep that flow at the door moving when time is really of the essence. The other check-in tools that we have another kind of free piece of optional functionality called the Print at Home Scannable Tickets Kit. And what this means is if you have turned this feature on in your account, when anybody buys a ticket, she receives a PDF with barcoded QR code tickets that can be scanned in using the Artfully iOS app. So this is an app that we currently have for iPhones and iPod Touches, and it's for scanning these barcodes and acting as a mobile version of the door list. So you can scan somebody, but also if somebody, say, forgot to print the ticket or is having a hard time pulling it up, you can find them and still check them in from the door list. I know that's a ton of information right up front, so thank you for bearing with me on that. I'm going to unmute everybody here. Do either of you kind of have questions about the ticket sales aspects to Artfully?
No, I'm not doing.
Have you heard of many people using them for fundraising events? I imagine it would work the same as a normal event, but I guess is that something that y'all have thought about with this? Is there anything that I might not be able to foresee right now where it would work differently for a fundraising event versus a regular event?
That is definitely something that I would be. People have used Artfully for fundraising events. It happens pretty frequently, but there are definitely considerations that you have to make when setting up the event. And that's something that myself and my colleague Alessandra would be really happy to go over with you.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're very accessible, and we love to help you figure out, is Artfully going to work for this or not. But I would say the answer is most likely yes. Some
Okay.
considerations that you have to make are like, when somebody buys a ticket, Artfully kind of considers it to be one head per ticket. So table sales, if that's something that you're thinking about, can be slightly more complicated. But I would say that's a conversation that we can have at some point during the week, and I'd be happy to chat with you about it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for me.
Cool. All right, and Lizetta,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not selling any tickets at this time.
okay, okay. Well, we just have a little bit more about ticketing, and then we'll be getting into how you can use Artfully to keep track of the people who are donating to you and kind of gaining more insights around that and how you communicate with them.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Before we get into the donations and CRM portions of Artfully, I do want to talk just very briefly about some of our beta features. So right now we're currently beta testing both season passes and memberships. With season passes, this allows you to sell a pass for a certain number of tickets. And when you have the kit activated, you get this kind of nifty buy passes link at the top of your screen. And you can set up different pass types for your supporters to purchase. And that pass comes to them in the form of a unique discount code. So if you have, say, a season where you have 5 different events and you want to be able to offer a season tickets to your fans, this is a great way to go. So when someone buys a pass, she copies the discount code and at checkout enters the passcode in the same field that you would for a discount code. And that makes the price of a pass $0. These features are currently in beta right now. So we're working one-on-one with organizations to make sure the kit's a good fit for them before turning it on. If it's something you're interested in doing, just let us know and we'll be happy to set up a time with you to go over it. Similarly, we have a kit that's in a closed beta for memberships. Memberships allow you to set up special prices specifically for members, run advanced ticket sales, and also host member-only events. So kind of similar to the Passes kit, when someone becomes a member of your organization, you sell a membership, the member creates a password to log into your storefront. And once that password is set, member-only events, if you have them, are now visible when she's signed in. And when you go to your events, if you've set up, say, a member-only price, those member prices are available exclusively for members. Great. This is kind of just a quick section here. Just wanted to double check, see if either of you have any questions about it.
I don't. Lizetta doesn't.
I do not, although I will want to talk to y'all later about maybe setting up membership.
Cool. Great. All right. So the next kind of main aspect of Artfully's functionality is being able to accept donations. Now, Artfully is kind of interesting in that we service both 501c3 charities and fiscally sponsored projects. And the features are a little difficult depending on which category people fall into. I'll go over what is what as we go through this section. So when you have a donations kit in Artfully turned on, your supporters can add a donation in addition to a ticket sale. Just as you can use the widget and WordPress plugin to sell tickets on your site, you can also set up a plugin for your website specifically for donations. 501c3 organizations can manually log donations. Fiscally sponsored projects should log them from the My Fiscal Sponsorship page. And when somebody makes a donation to your fiscally sponsored project, the information from that donation automatically synchronizes into the Artfully CRM. To give you an idea of what these features look like, with a donation kit enabled and when you're selling tickets, people will have the opportunity to add a donation at checkout. This is an example of what it looks like when you have a donation widget added to a website. This is an example of the Fusebox Festival. It adds an open donation field. And just like with the ticketing widget and plugin, when you add a donation, a shopping cart pops up from the bottom of the screen, so you can check out right from there. 501c3 organizations can also log donations manually. You can also check off things like whether or not an acknowledgement was sent, define deductible and non-deductible amounts. So you can process those right on patron records. And for fiscally sponsored projects, when someone makes a donation through your sponsored donations page, the information from that donation, the donor's contact information, the amount of the donation, when it happened, automatically gets logged in the CRM. Great. All right. Do either of you have any questions about donation processing within Artfully?
No.
Cool.
No.
All right. So once you have ticket sales and donations coming in, the real important part of Artfully is how you are understanding your audience better and developing that deeper relationship with them. And that really comes together within the Artfully CRM. And Olivia, I know you mentioned you had imported some people into Artfully. People and contact records can be added to Artfully from a ticket sale. As you're going about your normal business practices, it's creating that customer database for you. Anybody can create people records manually within the app. You can import them, as Olivia, you mentioned you have. And you can also automatically have your contacts synchronized into Artfully if you're using MailChimp. So to give you an idea of what all that looks like, this is what it looks like when you log into Artfully. You'll see your most recent events as well as your recent activity. So this could, in this case, is ticket sales, but it can also be donations. It can be email campaigns that you've sent to your supporters. Lots of information will bubble up here. So each of those links in the recent activity feed links to a contact record within Artfully. And this is an example of what one of those contact records can look like. So Cecilia, we have her address information, phone numbers. This can either be something that is collected during the donation process or a ticket sale, or something that you log yourself. You can add notes to people records. You can add social media handles as well to help you keep track. And the interactions that Cecilia has with the organization show up in the action feed at the bottom of the page. Some of these are automatically created. Others can be logged manually. Like, for example, if we got an email from Cecilia, we can log an action that she said something to us. At the top, you'll also be able to note that we can add tags to keep track of groups of supporters. So we have her as a board member and a volunteer. And at the top, we also have a feature that we call the revenue meter. So you can see how much Cecilia has contributed, either over her lifetime or through specific years. You can also see specifically donations and ticket sales and kind of see how much she has contributed to your organization. And you can match it up to the actions in the action feed to see how that relationship has developed over the years. On the left-hand side, you'll also notice that we have relationships on the left-hand side. This is another feature that we've just started beta testing that lets you define relationships between people. So you can define things like spouses, employers, who is on the board of an organization. There's lots of others. You can define someone who is a solicitor to another organization, people who've been employed by people. You can also create records for companies. So if you receive a grant from an organization, you can create a record for that foundation. And we could even relate, say, Cecilia to that company. This image can either be pulled in from Gravatar, and we just actually added a feature so that you can upload your own images to people, which is a feature update that I've been quite excited about. You'll also be able to note that we have her do not call and do not email preferences here. She's cool with being contacted, so we have those unchecked. And then also, because we have a sync with MailChimp, when we email someone, say if Cecilia was on our MailChimp list, in that action feed, you would also see a heard action for every email campaign that you send. We've got an integration with MailChimp because they have a pretty generous free tier, and they also are supporters of artists, and we're pretty big fans of them. So getting your contacts into Artfully, they can be done through a sale, they can be added manually, and you can also add them in bulk. We have a CSV spreadsheet template that you can use to import people. You can import past event attendance. This is one of the more advanced features of Artfully, so if it's something you're interested in exploring, we'll be happy to set up a time to kind of go over some best practices, and we're happy to take a look at your CSV before you import it to see if there's anything that sticks out. And then once you have all those contacts in there, we have an advanced search feature that lets you do, this is actually a little bit of a preview. It's going to be releasing pretty imminently for everything from donations, people who've donated or have not donated between a certain time frame or between a certain dollar amount. You can see if people have certain tags. There's a whole list of conditions that you can create to find out more about your audience base. And from this, you'll notice there's a work with button. I've kind of had to amalgamate this screenshot. When you have search results from, say, a segment of your audience that you want to keep track of, you can add tags to those folks. We can log an action from the people who we have in an advanced search. Like, say we wanted to log a heard action on all of them. We can log those there. You can export it to a CSV. It's very important to us that not only is it easy for you to get your information into Artfully, but also to get it out. And then you can also do stuff with your MailChimp lists and create a list segment. A list segment is a saved advanced search. So the idea is that as people kind of move into this segment, as your base of support grows, you can return to your list segments, and the list segment from February 1st, 2016 can grow by the time you look at it again 6 months down the road. Cool. Do either of you have any questions about advanced search and the CRM?
So this is Lizetta, so I can just migrate my contacts there, and separate kind of fiscal donors, artists, because they're different types of support.
Yeah.
And I can separate all of those different groups in Artfully. Is that what I'm...
That is one thing that it can help you do. So the people who donate to your fiscal sponsorship will automatically synchronize into the system. And then you can also import people, and you can add, say, tags to those records. So if someone you know is an artist, you could add an artist tag to that record, and you would have a whole tag segment of artists. So you can go to that tag and see everyone you have who's an artist. You could do a donation search and see everyone who's donated to your project or donated within a certain amount range or within a date range. Perhaps, when you sent your last appeal, it lets you kind of exactly mine that information that you have for greater insights.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sure. Olivia, did you have any questions?
And you can export these as reports?
Yes. So you can export we have orders reports. You can export all of your information from Artfully. Just as you can import people, you can export. I'm just going to back up a couple slides here. You can export people, donations, and sales. You can
Oh, excellent.
also export an orders report. You can build things from advanced search. Yeah, happy to go in depth with you on that. We're also in the midst of developing some even more advanced reporting features.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. So we also want to be upfront about the costs of the system. So for using Artfully, the CRM, ticketing free events, and synchronizing your MailChimp account are all free. For online ticket purchases, there's a 3.5% credit card processing fee, and the ticket buyer pays a $2 per ticket fee. For passes and memberships, there's a 5% service fee, and you can choose to either have that be added as a service fee at checkout, or you can have it rolled into the ticket price. For donations to 501c3 organizations, 501c3s only paid a 3.5% credit card processing fee. And for fiscally sponsored projects using Artfully, if someone makes a donation in addition to a ticket sale, we don't charge any additional fees on that. Only the 7% fiscal sponsorship fee is charged. So the way that breaks down, for a $15 ticket, the patron would pay $17. We take $2 for the service fee, and the credit card processing fee is 50 cents. For a donation to a 501c3, if it was $50, the organization would get $48.25. And for a $100 sponsored project donation, it would turn out to be $93 for the project. Cool. We also like to give you an idea of how Artfully gets developed. When we were developing Artfully, which launched in October of 2013, we went to arts organizations in cultural hubs across the country, and we wanted to find out what they needed from a ticketing software. And those community design sessions informed how the software is developed. And that process is still taking place, but online. So Artfully is in a constant state of development where we find out what producers are looking for. We take that feedback into the design and planning stages. We release it to be beta tested with interested organizations whose business needs it's going to fit, and we begin that process over again. So it's still happening. It's just online. We have a feature request forum that producers can suggest ideas to and vote on the ideas of other producers and add comments to help flesh out what they're looking for from the system. And as features get developed, we take the producer feedback into account as best as we possibly can. Of course, sometimes things get lumped in together. Some features kind of make more sense if they're developed in tandem, but this is what we try to use as the guiding principle for Artfully's development. So as I mentioned, right now we are beta testing memberships, Flex and Season Passes, and we are also in the midst of beta testing relationships and households. In the coming soon front, we have assigned seating, fundraising campaigns, and more advanced reports. And so that's what we have to look forward to. The new version of Advanced Search will be releasing very, very soon, and we're really excited for that to come out. Yeah, and that's kind of the bulk of the presentation. I'm in the office 10 to 6, Monday through Friday, as are my colleagues, and we're really happy to answer any questions you have and offer whatever support we can. Yeah, that's the long and the short of it. Are there any other questions that I can answer for anybody?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
This is a great introduction. I just have to get going.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Because it's free to set up, the best way to start learning it is to create the account. You use your Fractured Atlas login to get into Artfully, and that way you can kick the tires and get used to it. Well, excellent. I'm going to be around. Feel free to send us an email at support@artful.ly if you have any questions. We're really happy to answer them.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Great. Thanks for making the time. Have a great evening.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.